Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody's day going? How's everybody's week going so far? I hope you're all having a great week. Hopefully, you're all having a great day. It is July 1st, people. It's July 1st. It's Tuesday. Half the year's already gone. Can you believe it? Almost baseball season is still a long season, right? Still a bunch of games to go, but before you know it, September is going to be here. Before you know it, it's going to be the postseason. I don't know about you all. The year's been flying by. The baseball season's been flying by. How is everybody feeling? How are you all doing? Let me know in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. So today is going to be a different kind of show, right? The Yankees Blue Jays game is going to be an earlier game. It's going to be at 3:07 because it's I believe it's it's Canada Day. I don't know if it's their version of Independence Day, but that's the reason why the game is earlier today. And it is July 1st. Excuse me. So I figured, why not do the monthly recap today like I have been doing this season? And we'll talk about the July schedule coming up. And then the pregame. We're definitely going to do a pregame. We're going to do all of that. We're doing everything all in one show. All right. So let's see how long I'll be live for. But I figured today was the perfect day to do all of this, like the monthly recap and the July schedule. I want to get everybody's thoughts on it. Right. We'll talk about the lineup. We'll talk about how we're all feeling. Right. Because I want to see everybody's comments. But first and foremost, make sure you all hit that like, hit that subscribe, share this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. Let me say what's up to the chat. Who do we have in the chat? Brooklyn's in the house. What's up, Susan? What's going on, Lou? How are you? My good friend Nosebleed. What's up, man? How's it going? Desiree, what up? What up, girl? How you doing? Who else we got in the chat? So we got a few people in the chat. We'll wait for some more folks. But, last night's game, the Yankees ended the month of June with a loss. It sucked. You were hoping they would go 14-13 for the month of June. Granted, that's not a great record, but, you would have hoped that they would have ended with a winning record. But instead, they went 13-14 in the month of June. The month of June, for lack of a better word, sucked. It was just a pretty bad performance all around. It was mainly the bats. It's not even the pitching. It was just the bats. The offense was terrible. What up, Rodney? What up, Jared? How's it going there, gents? How's it going? What's up? But the Yankees ended the month of June with a 13-14 record. Not great. They obviously ended with a losing month. Right. This was almost as bad as April, but, they lost, they lost a series against the Red Sox, and then they got swept by the Red Sox. They lost 3 out of 4 against the Angels. They lost a series against the Reds, and they ended the month on a loss to the Blue Jays. So, they lost 4 series this month, right? So they lost to the Reds, they lost to the Angels, they lost both series to the Red Sox. They lost a total of 4 series in the month of June. June sucked. What up, Dev? How's it going, dude? I'm gonna do these monthly recaps, bro. I'm going to. But last month was terrible. I mean, again, 13-14. They lost to the Blue Jays yesterday. The Yankees are 10-13 against the AL East. They're 38-23 against everybody else, but the Yankees have struggled mightily against the AL East teams. And this series in July, or this series against the Blue Jays, it's a 4-game set. They already lost yesterday's game. They need a big bounce back today. They can't lose the way that they did yesterday. Yesterday was it looked like a free for all. It was just like anything goes on the field. With one particular player, you all know who I'm talking about, right? Susan talks about him. Rodney talks about him. But they need a big bounce back today. They can't make the same mistakes that they did yesterday. or last night. So, Max Fried's going to be on the mound. So, usually when Max Fried's on the mound, I like our chances more. But let's see how the bats perform tonight. They lost by 1 run. They were trying to make a comeback, but they just had no answer. But, they need a big bounce back. And Rodney says Volpe deserves to be talked about. I mean, Volpe's been the story. He's been talked about so much in the last month. Volpe, look, I want to say this real quick, people. I want to say this real quick. Lou says my man Volpe. Yeah, he's your favorite player. But I got to say this though, man. When we criticize players, right? At least for me, when I criticize players, it doesn't mean that I dislike them. It doesn't mean that I don't want these guys to succeed. Of course I want these guys to succeed. Theo says, is it time to panic? Not quite, dude. Not quite. But I want Volpe to succeed. I want this guy to really succeed. I think he could be better than what he is. But there's just times where his brain just, I don't know where it goes. I'm not saying it's easy. All right. I'm not saying it's easy, right? I mean, let's be honest, but Volpe needs to do better. It's as simple as that. But maybe Susan, maybe you're right. Maybe, I like Volpe, but maybe he will be more successful with another team. And I saw Jasmine D pop in. What's up, Jasmine? How are you? But, Volpe made some costly errors yesterday. He made a couple of plays yesterday that were not necessary to throw to third. That was just a bad throw. I mean, great play on the field. I like the way you made that play. Great, but bad throw, man. And, I gotta, this isn't, again, I'm looking at these numbers right now with Volpe, right? The last 30 games, if we want to look at his average on-base percentage and his slugging in the last 30 games, 196 batting average, 279 on-base percentage, 361 slugging. These numbers are not great. And, I'm looking at his numbers in the last 30 games. The numbers are bad. He has, compared to last year, he has regressed. What's up, Bill? How's it going? So he has regressed big time from last season. Last season he showed a little bit more hope. He did better in his in his last season than he did in his rookie season. I mean, the rookie year, I'm never going to criticize a player, right? Because you got to manage those expectations. You got to expect them to make mistakes, trip and fall. So rookies, I'm going to give them a pass, right? Because again, you got to let these guys adjust. Second year, he looked a little better. Postseason 2024, actually, he was good. Going into this season, though, there's times where it's like Volpe is coming out of his shell. He's gonna play. He's hitting well. He's fielding well. Then he kind of goes back. He kind of resorts back to some of his old ways. I just don't get it. Man. But he needs to be better. Yeah, nosebleed. I mean, yeah, he may have improved his K rate and walks. I get all that, but that's good news. But he still needs to produce. He still needs to have better production at the plate. That's it, man. That's it. It's like, you got to put up. You got to put up, right? But as far as the month of June goes, I'm not going to just pick on Anthony Volpe. The offense as a whole was just atrocious, right? For the most part, there was only 2 guys that stuck out in the offense: Jazz Chisholm Jr., Cody Bellinger. These 2 guys were the bright spots of the lineup. It was those 2 guys that were making it happen in the month of June. Bellinger has been on a hot streak. I mean, Jazz, holy smokes, he's been killing it since he came off the IL. I mean, Jazz's bat has been showing up. But you look at Cody Bellinger, last 30 games, he batting 271, on base percentage 328, slugging a 441. I mean, his numbers look really good. His batting average as of right now, let's see, as of today, going into today's game, his batting average is at 269. So remember, this guy's batting average in the beginning of May was below 200. So he has come up. His numbers have come up big time. His numbers have come up big time. So Bellinger, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. His bat has been fantastic in May and June. And I think that I'm confident that I think his hitting streak, like his good streak, is going to continue. Right? I think it's going to. I'd say it's going to continue. He's got the hot bat right now. I mean, yeah, there's going to be some games where he's not going to hit. That's inevitable. It happens, right? There's going to be games where he's going to go 0 for 3 or whatever. But we got to talk about Jazz, though. We got to talk about Jazz. Jazz has been the bright spot here. I said that he has been killing it since he came off the IL. So the last 30 games for Jazz Chisholm, batting average at 314. On base percentage of 397. He's got a slugging of 571. Jazz has been killing it. He's the other bright spot in the month of June when it came to this Yankees offense. Right? So right now, his batting average is sitting at 244. You got to remember he was hurt, but I think that batting average is going to come up. So, I think he's going to continue raking, I think. But really, the offense has been the letdown in the month of June. But those are the two guys that really stood out the most in that offense. Jazz is killing it, but can anyone explain that bunt yesterday in the 8th? What about it there, Nosebleed? What about that bunt? Bill O saying people forget they said the same things about Jeter and Posada and Bernie. Either you let the kids play or you trade them. You can't have it both ways. This is true too. Yeah, he's not free swinging as much. He's showing more patience at the plate, so that's a good sign. One thing I'll say about Volpe is this. I know he's been slumping, but I'll say something positive. Maybe I'm off on this. Maybe I'm on something. You could tell me if I'm on something, and go for it. The thing is, Volpe, at least as of late, right? I know it hasn't been producing into anything positive. At least as of late, he's been trying to show a little bit more patience at the plate. I know it hasn't really paid off too much, but at least he's trying to show a little bit more patience at the plate. But it's not resulting into anything positive. That I'll say about him. But it seems like the Yankees bats have been they've been trying to show a little bit more patience, but they still need to produce the results. Why did he do it? They had to play a little bit of small ball at that point. They were down 1 run, would be my argument. They were down 1 run. He got the runner to second base. He did get the runner to second base, Judge to second base. They were down 1 run. So, at some point, man, you got to play a little bit of small ball. And some of the fans complain about that. Some of the fans complain about this team not playing small ball. And rightfully so. And my man Li is in the building. What's up, Li? How are you? Be good. If Wells goes on the IL, we should call up Rodriguez. I don't know who they're going to call up if Wells goes on the IL, but as of right now, Meredith Marakovich did put out a report saying that Wells is playing catch on the field. He's not in the lineup, but he's playing catch. He was playing catch. And then Trent Grisham is also out on the field. He's testing his hamstring, so we don't know He's seeing if how his hamstring is gonna be healing up. So we don't know if Grisham is gonna miss some time. So yeah, Puel's, Peraza, Volpe, and Goshen. Well, Peraza doesn't get a lot of playing time. Yeah, nosebleed you're adding here. Bellinger lead off with home run and Judge walked. He should have swung away since he was a cleanup hitter. Yeah, maybe. But then if it didn't result into anything, again, in a one-run game, the top of the eighth? I mean, again, he could have swung, sure. I mean, with Judge on base, but they figured, okay, bunt, and if he laid down a good bunt, he at least got the runner to second. However, maybe if he did bunt and was able to get on base, you have two men on, and hopefully Jazz would get on base, and you have the speed of Jazz in case the next batter up gets a big hit. You were hoping for that. So, the game, it's not easy to make those decisions. I mean, there's always going to be a hindsight. Chia, Ace is in the building. What up? What up, Ace? Yo, you going live later today, or what's going on, dude? I know you weren't live last night. Everything cool? Shout out to my man Ace. If you're not subscribed to his channel, what are you doing? Question yourselves. Brian De La Cruz has been called to replace Grisham. Is that right? Who reported that, bro? Let me know. Yeah, well, I like Goldie at first, dude. I like Goldie at first. So, well, we'll see what happens in today's game. Like I said, with Max Fried pitching, we'll talk about the lineup, and we'll get predictions and all that. So, looking ahead now in the month of July, I mean, the schedule is not any easier. And the other thing I wanted to mention too, real quick, folks, with the month of June, and I'm not making excuses for the team, but the Yankees only had 3 days off. They only had 3 off days. That was on the 2nd, June 2nd, June 9th, and June 26th. So after that June 9th, they played 16 straight games without a day off. Again, I'm not making excuses, but without a day off, playing 16 straight games, it's not easy with all the travel. At some point, like, your body's going to break down. I'm not saying this is the reason why they lost. You still got to go out there and win, but it takes a toll on your body. It does take a toll on your body. I mean, these guys didn't really have a whole lot of time to recover and reset. And I could tell you right now, looking at this schedule in July, and I mean, really, they do get a break in the month of July because of the All-Star break. So that helps, right? That helps. But, I'm not going to jump ahead, but August is going to be pretty rough for them. But July, though, here's the schedule. So they got the remaining games with the Blue Jays. Then they go travel to Citi Field against the Mets to play against the Mets in a Subway Series. That's 4th of July weekend. Then they have a 3-game set against Seattle. Then the Cubs come into town. Then it's the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, they travel to Atlanta, and then they travel to Toronto again, folks, on a 3-game set. So they're going to play the Blue Jays twice in Toronto this month. All right, on a 3-game set, and then they have another day off. They got that big 3-game series against the Phillies at the stadium. Then they got a 4-game set against the Rays at the stadium. So the month of July is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. The month of July is not going to look any better, really. They certainly have a tough schedule ahead of them. So they got their hands full. All right. The Rays right now are a game and a half behind the Yankees. The Blue Jays are only 2 games behind. So right now the AL East is a little bit of a tight race. Yankees are still in first place, but They got to start winning some games, and they got 25 games this month. They got 25 games this month. All hard series. I mean, none of these series are going to be easy. None of these series are going to be easy. I mean, the series I'm looking at, obviously, this Toronto series, both Toronto series are going to be tough. I'm not sleeping on the Cubs. I'm not sleeping on the Phillies. Certainly not sleeping on the Rays. I'm not sleeping on these guys. I'm not sleeping on any of these teams. I think the Yankees could do work against the Mets. I mean, the Mets have been on a kind of a bad streak of their own. They got swept by the Pirates over the weekend, which that was brutal. The Braves may not be as good of a team, but I'm still not going to sleep on them. And JT says make or break in July. Yeah, man. July they gotta come out swinging. They got to come out swinging. It's not so much the pitching I'm worried about. It's really the bats. The only thing with the pitching I'm really worried about is the bullpen. The bullpen has been it's been a little bit of a mess, and it sucks to lose Fernando Cruz. He's got a high grade strain on his oblique, so we'll see how long he's going to be out for. And it sucks to lose him. The Yankees absolutely need to address the bullpen in the during the deadline. Who are they gonna go after? I mean, God only knows, but they do need to address the bullpen, which Cashman every year during the deadline he is always he's always addressing the bullpen. He's always going to look at bullpen arms, and the oblique does take a while. Susan, you're right. But I feel as though the what do you call it? The bullpen is going to be a little bit of a problem. That's the one area that I'm definitely concerned about, other than the offense, is going to be the bullpen. But the bullpen is something that's been incomplete throughout the season. It's been incomplete. You were hoping for a couple of these guys to come back. Like, you were hoping for Jake Cousins to come back, but unfortunately he's out for the rest of the season. He's going to get Tommy John. Unfortunate news. Now it's, you have Fernando Cruz is going to be out, which sucks. And Fernando Cruz got hurt in the training room with the medicine ball. And yeah, Ace, they are hanging on by a thread, dude. They are hanging on by a thread. Yeah, Luis Hill should be back probably at the end of July, because he's going to have some rehab games. So probably end of July would be my best guess. But yeah, the bullpen though, man, these starters are going to have to have some great innings, but the bats are going to have to back them up. Inevitably, yes, the bullpen is still going to they're still going to get used, but the bullpen is going to have to step up, man. This is it. You know what I mean? But but Yankees need to address the bullpen at the deadline. And I do have one name in mind. At least one of the names. But yeah, the month of July though, looking at these games, this is not an easy schedule by any stretch. And I didn't expect it to be easy. At least this month, I mean, the Yankees, if they have like the All-Star break, so they get a little bit of a break from the games, and we'll see how everything turns out. But there is no, like, looking at the schedule, there is no easy series here, none. So they got to put up or shut up. So we'll see how everything turns out. But they gotta have a better record in the month of July, because 13-14 in the month of June sucks. It's unacceptable. But they need to have month of July. They need to have a much better record. What up, Custodio? And with this schedule that they have, it ain't gonna be easy. But we'll see if they can bounce bounce back from it. But let's talk about the lineup here, folks. Let's talk about the lineup. What do we got here? Yep, today's lineup. I'll pull it up. Let me know what you think about the lineup. My man Custodio in the building. Make sure you guys subscribe to Custodio's channel. He does a really good job over there. Custodio, Ace. I mean, go check my boys out, man. Make sure you guys give him the love, give him the support. But here's the lineup right here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. That should do it right there. So Paul Goldschmidt leading things off, playing first base. Cody Bellinger is batting second. He'll be playing center field. Aaron Judge batting third. He'll be playing right field. Jazz Chisholm Jr. batting fourth. He'll be playing third base. He'll be cleaning at the cleanup spot. John Carlos Stanton batting fifth. He'll be DHing. Jason Dominguez batting sixth. He'll be playing left field. Anthony Volpe batting seventh. He'll be playing shortstop. JC Escada at the dish. He'll be catching today. So, again, no Austin Wells as he's recovering. I'm glad he's okay. That was a little scary with, his finger and, the talk about his arteries. That's never a fun conversation. DJ LeMahieu batting ninth. He'll be playing second base. And on the mound today, folks, it is the ace of the Yankees of 2025. It is Max Fried. Folks in the chat, let me know what you think about this lineup. Would you change anything about this lineup? Would you change anything about the batting order? Let me know what you all are thinking. Custodio, Volpe, Ascari, DJ, shaking my head. Susan says DJ and Volpe are the worst. Bill O says DJ is done. Jake says DJ is washed. What else we got to say? Well, he benched him on that in that Sunday game against the Orioles. The Ace says the Ace. I'm not pitching today. Oh, you need to be in the bullpen, man. We need a bullpen arm there, dude. Yeah, I mean, Volpe got benched in that game against the final game of the series against Baltimore last Sunday. I mean, didn't really do him well, but he got benched. Ronnie says he's not ready to jump off the DJ train just yet. I mean, if it's not Volpe, who do you put in at shortstop? Your only other option is going to be Peraza. And unfortunately, Peraza's bat is not that great either. I mean, it's worse than Volpe's, believe it or not. Custodio says he doesn't like Volpe. He doesn't like Volpe, Ascari, DJ. But how do you split them up? Well, I know. I mean, if you ask me, I think Ascara should be behind Dominguez. But it's like you have Volpe and LeMahieu going back to back. I mean, with this lineup, at this point, just put Volpe ninth. I like Ascara. I mean, he may not necessarily get the hits, but certainly shows a lot more patience at the plate. I think we can all agree on that. Him defensively, if he gets more playing time, I think you could see some improvement from him. That's what I think. And Bill O says Peraza needs to be playing, not DJ. I mean, like I said, he could play for DJ or he could play for Volpe. Peraza's defense is great, but again, his bat is not great. So I mean, we're I guess at this point, right? Kind of pick your poison. See what you like or dislike more. Who would you rather have? Susan says, put Volpe in the corner for a timeout. That's hilarious. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, his glove is great. I love Peraza's glove. He's got a great glove, but again, it's the bat. The bat's the problem. But let's get into these predictions. After we get into the predictions, I'm going to put the link out to the open panel. So if anybody wants to come up and just chat it up and just dice it up, let me know. All right, I'll put the link out. But after we're done with predictions, so if anybody wants to come on, you're more than welcome to. And we can all just talk about the month of June, looking at the schedule ahead. And then, go from there. But let's get into these predictions. Max Fried. What does Max Fried do today? How does Max Fried perform against the Blue Jays? What are your predictions for Max Fried? Give me your predictions. What are we thinking, folks? Billo says Fried goes 7 innings, 8 strikeouts. Okay. Nosebleed's going 7 innings pitched, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, no runs. Jake is going 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. What else we got for Max Fried? What else we got for Max Fried? I think Max, personally, I think he's going to go. So Lou is saying 7 innings, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 2 runs. Desiree's also going 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 run. So you know what? I'm going to say Max Fried goes 7 2/3. 7 2/3 innings. I think he's going to go 8 strikeouts, one walk, 2 runs. So 7 2/3, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, 2 runs. Susan says, with Max pitching, we have a chance. However, if the bats go silent, we'll end up on the wrong side of the stick. You're absolutely right. You're not wrong. Robert Boom, PA, is saying we are in trouble, and Max is always good for 7+, 9 strikeouts for sure. Jasmine is going 1 run, 7 innings, 3 walks, turned 3 double plays, 8 strikeouts. Susan's going 8 innings, 9 out. I think she meant to say strikeouts on that. 1 double play. So the Yankees are turning 1 double play, or they're hitting into 1 double play. Bill O is saying Stanton goes yard. So does Judge. I like the picks. I always go Judge for anybody that doesn't, but you already knew that. Gotcha, Susan. Okay. Does anybody think Max Fried will pick anybody off? Let me ask that bonus question. What's up, Katie? How's it going? They're turning 1 double play. Nice. All right. Does Fried have any pickoffs today? Because we know how good he is with that. Any pickoffs? 2 pickoffs by Nosebleed. Okay. I'm going to say 1. I'll say 1 pickoff for Max Fried. Jasmine's going with 2 pickoffs as well. Okay. Rodney's going 2. All right. Yeah, no, Li shared that information earlier. So, yeah, no, thanks, Jake. Yeah, he shared that information that Dela Cruz is being called up. That's cool. 1 pickoff from Bill. Susan's agreeing with 2. Yeah, he's great at pickoffs. I'm going to go 1, though. I'll say 1 pickoff. That's what I think. So, yeah, maybe I should include that as a question for Max Fried every time he pitches. Maybe that should be the question I'll ask. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that for Max Fried because he is excellent at pickoffs. All right. So we got the Max Fried predictions. Double plays. Do the Yankees hit into any double plays tonight or today? Did they hit into any double plays? Yeah, go right ahead, Rodney. Hopefully, Bill. If he's called up, who's going on IL? Wells or Grisham? My assumption would be Grisham, their Nosebleed, because the game plan is for Wells to catch tomorrow. My assumption is probably Grisham. Nosebleed says 1 double play. Max will look directly at the batter before you know it, he picks you off. Yeah. I got to see him pick off 2 guys when he was pitching out here in Colorado. That was awesome. Ball will carry in Toronto today. Volpe and DJ, 2 double plays. So you're going 2 total. All right. Susan says Volpe and DJ, 2 double plays. Oh my God. I'm only laughing because you two have similar answers. They always seem to be good for 2. I'm going to say 1. I'll say 1. I'll say 1 double play. That's what I think. I think they're going to go 1 double play. That's what I got for the Yankees. I think they'll hit into 1 double play. Who hits into that double play? I don't know. It could be anybody. It could be Volpe. It could be DJ. It could be Judge. So that's 4 total. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking was like, wait, are we thinking like 2 double plays per player? or is it just 2 double plays total, and each player is going to hit into a double play? Appreciate you, Desiree. Make sure y'all listen to Desiree. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share this channel out. Greatly appreciate it. We're on the road to 1,800, folks. 1,800. Slowly but surely, we'll get there. And the top fans of the chat. Oh, snap. The dudes are taking over. Take your pick. Could be either. Yeah. DJ LeGround out will hit in a double play. So Bill is going. I'm assuming you're going 1. If Volpe gets a chance, and that's 1. And Big G will, and 3. And DJ for. Okay. So Ronnie's going 3. Okay. So Ronnie's going 3 double plays. All right. Let's get into these home run predictions. What do we got for home runs? Jasmine already with the home run predictions. Ben Rice is not in the lineup there, Jasmine. So you saying Judge and Stanton, they're both in the lineup, but Ben Rice is not in the lineup. So if you want to pick someone else, you can. Jake says Volpe's going to hit into 3 double plays. That's funny. Dominguez. Okay. You're going Dominguez. Yeah, I'm gonna go Judge. I'm so tempted to pick Jazz. I'm so tempted. But man, you know what? I'm gonna leave him out again. I didn't include him yesterday. So I'll go Judge, Giancarlo, and the Martian. Those are my 3. Oh, snap. Nosebleed's asking a question to all of you. He's saying, if everyone says Volpe can't hit, how can he hit into any double plays? All right, Ronnie's going to Twins, Jazz, and Dominguez. Would be great if we have a clean game with Judge, Stanton, and yeah, for real. Same 3, Judge, Bellinger, and Jazz. Okay. Susan's going Bellinger. Any other home run calls? So Brian Hoke did put out this this tweet saying that Brian De La Cruz is in Toronto with Trent Grisham likely headed for the IL. So there you have it, folks. So there's a likelihood that Trent Grisham's going to head for the IL, which means more playing time for Dominguez, more than likely. So, and De La Cruz is on the is called up. Jazz with a homer. I'd rather Volpe get singles than strikeouts. I mean, that's all of us there, Jasmine. Hell, that's all. Just get the hit, get the single. Dominguez and Jazz homer. Okay. Boone needs to hit and run. We hit into many double plays and can't move a runner up to save our lives. I don't think they're hitting into as many double plays as they were last year. Last year, holy crap, it was just like they were hitting into double plays like every other inning or whatever. It seemed that way, but they led the league in hitting into double plays. And it could be, Jake. It could be a blessing in disguise for Dominguez. You know, this is his time now, you know, for him to step up. You know, I never wish an injury on any player, ever, ever, ever. I don't care if they're what team they're on. You know, you never want to wish that on any player. But Grisham, I know his bat has regressed as of late, but his defense in the outfield, you can't deny, has been phenomenal. Susan asking a question here, asking on another subject. Is it the analytics that place the players where they stand, or is it Boone? I think it's a mix of the two. I think it's a mix of analytics and Boone. Honestly, that's what I think. I don't think it's 100% Boone. I don't think it's 100% analytics. I think it's a mix of the two. I don't think so, Bill. I think you're gonna see Bellinger continue playing center field and Dominguez playing left. And I'd rather have it that way. The outfielders today is Dominguez, Judge, and Bellinger. So Bellinger will be in center field, Dominguez in left, Judge in right. And Rodney, you might be right, man. You might be right. It could help him. And the position coaches, I feel like it's a mix of everything. It's the coaches, the manager, and the analytics. We'll see what happens. So we got our home run calls. What do we got for what do we have for scores? What's the score today? So Yankees lost last night's game 5-4. What do you all think is the score going to be today? Are the Yankees going to make it happen? Bill O saying Rojas needs to retire. The outfield coach is the third base coach. And yeah, unfortunately. Ronnie's going 10-2 Yankees. 2-0 from Rodney Green. Damn, low scoring game. Do I think we could see Devin Williams today? We might. Who knows? It's possible. It just depends on the game and the situation that they're in. Jake says the offense is going to go flat. I can see the Jays winning 2-0. Wow. Okay. I think Ronnie's going 2-0. 2-0 Yankees. Jake is going 2-0 Jays. 3-1. Not sure who has 3 and who has 1. For real. Oh, what up, Stephen B? I saw you sneak in, dude. I'm glad you're in the chat. Sorry if I didn't say hi to anybody. I do apologize. This chat goes by me so quick. 3-1 Yankees. I'm gonna say Ronnie's saying 8-4. Lou's saying 4-2, 4-3. You know what's funny, Robert? I was thinking 4-3. I'm not even joking, dude. That's the score I had in my head. I'm saying 4-3. I'm not even lying. I was thinking 4-3 in my head. 6-2 by Jasmine. Why not? I think they could still make a push for a postseason spot. Oh, Miss 1000's in the chat. What's up there, Margaret? We have to win whatever the score is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll get through more of these. We'll get through everything else with the pregame stuff, and then, like I said, I'll put the link out to the open for an open panel. Just get some folks' thoughts. Right, I want to ask a few questions, see what you're all thinking, and then we'll close it out, and we'll get ready for the play-by-play that I'm going to be on for later. But I think today's game is going to be 4-3. Yeah, make sure everybody's staying hydrated. Make sure you got your water. It is hot, at least in my area. Can't speak for everyone else. All right. What's for dinner? Or, well, not dinner. What's for lunch? Is it lunchtime yet? Jacob, it is a special day in Canada. I think it's they say it's Canada Day. I don't know if it's their version of Independence Day, but that's why they're playing the game early. Sizzling in Washington, sizzling in very hot in Brooklyn. No surprise there. Yeah, those New York summers. Those summers were brutal. The winters are worse in my opinion, but yeah, Canada Day today is what Bill's saying. Yeah, it's Canada Day. So that's why they're playing the game early. But yeah, what do we got for yeah, Rodney knows. All right, so what's for lunch today, people? Am I streaming on July 4th? I might. I don't know yet. But what's for lunch? Or are you all snacking on something? Or are you all having a late breakfast? Like, let me know what you're all eating for food. Bill O is saying smoked chicken breast with Mexican rice and beans. That sounds good. Yeah, I get it, Susan. Street tacos for Rodney. It's hotter in New York and Washington and Florida right now. It just started raining. Oh, dang, Desiree. Street taco, smoked chicken. That smoked chicken breast with Mexican rice and beans. That sounds really good. That's some good game time food. Let's go. Street tacos. What else? There's that question that Jaden asked yesterday. Below saying tequila. Yeah, I've been told by Max that you like to drink. Oh, man. Don't tell anyone, but I bought a chocolate bar today. Now I'm skipping lunch. Oh, Susan, you little cheater. No, I'm just kidding. Already had lunch. Light snack, a little bit of salt. All right. What did you have for lunch there, Stephen B? What did you eat? What was for lunch? What else were we eating for food? What else? Yeah, what chocolate bar, Susan? What chocolate bar? Was it a Hershey's? I don't know why I was thinking Hershey's. It could be a Hershey's. Ronnie says watermelon. Can't go wrong with watermelon on a summer day. I swear, whenever I've flown back to the homeland to go visit family, it was like during the summertime, it was watermelons and tea. Oh, Lindt. Ooh, those are good, Susan. It was watermelon and tea, bro, after dinner every freaking time. My people love watermelons. I'll say that much. But watermelon's good, man. Bougie chocolate. All right, let me put out. Watermelon is great. I'll freaking love watermelon. Nah, no jokes there, Rodney. I'm being serious. I'm being very serious about this. Back in at the homeland, bro. It's watermelons and tea, bro. Like that's like a staple out there. Chicken sandwich, fiber bar, fruit, and protein bar. All right, cool. All right, Stephen B. Nice, easy lunch. All right, I'm gonna put the link out to the open panel. There's the link right there. So for anybody who wants to come on, feel free to come on. I told you whenever I do open panels, it's always going to be a surprise. I'm not going to say when, where, and how. Just be present. But here's the link to the open panel for anybody who wants to come on. Bill O said, biscuits and gravy with poached eggs and bacon, fried potatoes for breakfast. Nice. From Syria. Nice. Cool, Rodney. The price of fruit here is crazy. $8 for strawberries? That's insane. Grilled cheese? Okay. But what do we got? But yeah, the link is out if anybody wants to come on. I'll put the link if anybody wants to come on to the open panel, come on up. If not, it's all good. And it looks like I got my first victim in the back. I'll bring him up. You ready to come up? If you're ready to come up, just give me a thumbs up, man. I'll bring you up. What up, Sco? Can you hear me, Rodney? You good? All right, he's ready. He's nodding his head. Hold on, bro. I got you. All right.
What,
dude?
What's up?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
What's going on?
Not a whole lot, man. Just it's an early one today. So
Hey, everybody got it.
I can't hear you, dude. You're cutting in and out.
Can you hear me?
I could hear you now. At first, you were kind of cutting in and out.
Everybody got to relax and quit panicking. You know, I mean, we went through the exact same thing last year.
Yeah, you're right.
We went through the exact same thing last year, and so just relax. You know, I mean, we got some errors. I mean, not errors. We got some shortcomings, but who doesn't? You know, the Dodgers took a pounding there earlier. At the same time we were getting beat up, they were getting beat up too, but we were too busy watching what was going on with us to see what was going on around the league. Other teams have taken a beating too.
Mm-hmm.
Just breathe. It's the 1st of July. You know, it's the 1st of July. So let's just calm down. You know, I mean, I don't like Judge. I mean, and it's not that I don't like Judge personally. I don't like Judge as a leader because he's really not. I mean, this relax and we need to, the fans don't understand. No, we're fans. We understand. We want what's best. You're getting paid a lot of money, and his lackadaisical leadership is a West Coast thing. I mean, seriously, this laid back, oh, it'll be all right. You know, I lead by example. Who's the actual voice in that locker room? I mean, who is the voice that says, hey, look, this is unacceptable? Now that Big G's back, I figured it might be Big G, but I haven't seen anything.
I wish I was in the locker room to know who was speaking
You know,
up.
I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You know, I mean, Wells is useless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Wells is proven to be useless. I'm gonna be nice about Volpe. I mean, I really am. I'm going to be as diplomatic as I possibly can be. But that motherfucker stinks, dude. I mean, literally, he stinks.
Yeah.
I mean, all jokes aside, look at his batting average, dude. Look at him. And he's been shoved down our throat. I mean, it's been Volpe. No, it's not Volpe. And if we can all see it, why can't they?
So, who shoved?
I don't get it.
Organization,
you know, Dominguez,
writers, and the
Dominguez is good. In my opinion, Dominguez is right. Remember at the beginning of the year, they took Dominguez out to play defense?
Yep. I remember that. But let me ask you something though. But was it the Yankees that was shoving Volpe down our throats, or was it beat writers and the scouts?
I think it was a little of both.
Okay. Because I don't remember the organization necessarily.
How many times, honest to God, how many times have Volpe should have been sent to the minors, dude? Last night was a prime example. His ass, if he'd played for Girardi, if he'd have played for Torre, his ass would have been on the first bus smoking out of town. There wouldn't have been no excuses for it. You know, these guys are all medicated cotton soft. This generation, they just soft. You know, they just soft. Hamstring hurt, I'm going to be off for 15, 20 days. You know what I'm saying? Sitting in the clubhouse laughing and joking and walking around and celebrating. They just soft. You know, I mean, go back to Wells. You know, what has Wells done? I mean, Wells is declined. Rice should be our catcher. I mean, Scar should catch. Rice should be his backup. It's just that simple. Trade Wells to Colorado for the closer in Colorado. You know, I mean, Wells will look good in Colorado. He'll hit some bombs in Colorado. They'll look pretty. But he's a deficit. He's not an asset. Neither is Volpe.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been as diplomatic with Volpe as I possibly can. And we all know. I mean, Susan is right. I mean, every time she speaks on Volpe, she's right. He ain't it. Come on, man. He's a AA at most until he gets his shit together and then come back. But he needs to go down and get his shit together. Take the bus. Take the bus. Go down there and tell Spencer Jones and them what it's like to play in the majors. So they got an idea, because he's not it, man. And they gave Jeter a chance. They gave this a chance. Jeter improved every year. Volpe hasn't.
Yeah, he's definitely regressed from last year. I mean, he's definitely not playing.
He's way worse. He's way worse than last year.
Last year he was better, no doubt.
He's way worse than last year.
Yeah, but your thoughts on the month of June? They went 13-14. I mean, it was pretty.
Okay. It could have been a whole lot worse. So let's just be thankful we went 13-14. Okay, I mean, and it's just the way that it is. I mean, there was nothing we could do about it. And like I said, the first thing I said this morning is last month's in the past. We gotta put good juju out there and forget about shit. The bats need to wake up. The pitching's not the problem. I mean, for once in my entire life, and I go back to Ron Guidry, this is the first time that pitching hasn't been an issue. It's the bats.
Yeah, the bats.
It's the bats, and it seems hitting is contagious to these guys. As you can see, I'm torn up about this. This really hurts my pride.
Yeah, the only thing with the pitching that concerns me right now is the bullpen. The bullpen is going to be a little bit of a concern.
Leiter's turning into, who was the guy that went to the Mets last year? He's good until somebody gets on base or he gets a little tight. And then the minute he gets tight, his butthole puckers up and he can't throw a pitch at all. Leiter's useless when there's somebody on base. He has his moments, but then he has his moments where he's just like, he gets inside his own head and starts thinking about pitches that he's throwing. Just throw the ball. Just throw the ball. I catch myself yelling at him. Stop thinking and throw the ball.
Yeah, usually. Yeah, I mean, the bullpen.
And you're right. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the bullpen is gonna be a bit of a concern for me, because they're gonna need some help in that bullpen. Hopefully they address it at the deadline. Because with Fernando Cruz being out, oh my God, like I'm just like, that guy was a big asset. And JB in the chat from Back It Up Bench, he says, "Careful, NFE in chat. The Orioles might just catch you in September." Oh boy.
At this rate, he might be right.
He might be right. Yeah, the Orioles could very well make a push.
The greatest sports rundown of all time. The Baltimore Orioles ran down and caught the Yankees. I would literally give up sports. I would walk away from ever. It would be tragic.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to be a content creator no more. Oh
you would. Hey, man, I see how you are when they lose games where they blow them. You would be apoplectic to watch the Cardinals run them down.
Oh, man. But, I mean, the rest of the series, the Yankees are going to have to – they're definitely going to have to step it up. I mean, this month is not going to be any easy. So, I don't know if you looked at the schedule in July.
Yeah, I saw it.
Any of those games make you nervous? Any of those series make you nervous? Which series are you worried about the most?
All of them.
Fair enough.
I mean, all of them. I had to get some sunglasses, man. My eyes were killing me.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, no, all of them. Until they prove that they can hit. I'm not, like I said, I don't worry about the bullpen when they're 5 runs up. It's a 3-2 game and it's in the 6th inning. I used to not worry about it, but now it's like, how are they going to blow this game? And it's like, can't really hold the bullpen accountable for Volpe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they should have been out that inning last night. They should have been out that inning twice they should have been out that inning before any damage was done. And they should have been up one, or it should have been tied. But, I'm Derek Jeter reincarnated, and I can make every throw and I can make every play. Somebody need to tell that kid, you're not him, just be you.
No doubt. And
so what do you think they're going to do? You tell me what you think they're going to do on the trade deadline.
Trade deadline, I'll tell you right now. I mean, I know I'll probably go live for one of those days on the deadline, but personally, I think they're going to get 2 bullpen arms, and they're going to look for a bat.
Right-handed?
Right-handed bat. They need a right-handed bat. They got too many lefties. So,
man, I was talking to Legs this morning, and I think it was this morning, and Suarez, man.
Yeah, Suarez is the one guy I'm looking for sure.
Suarez would be he would literally. What are you laughing at?
Because you said legs.
Now you got me on paranoid. I'm getting off, man. Okay.
Chill.
I got boogers coming out of my nose or something?
No, because you said legs, bro. You said legs.
Oh. Okay, yeah, but you know who I'm talking about. Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, no. Okay, for people that don't know, my sister Des is like my sister, and I call her Legs because she's like 6'7", and she's nothing but all legs, and so I just call her Legs. That's what it is. All right.
Oh.
All right. Now, what do you think about Boone?
What do I think about Boone?
Yeah. How do you think Boone's doing?
I mean, I don't always agree with his decisions. Sometimes I question his decisions. But I don't think he's as bad of a manager as a lot of folks make him out to be. He could make better decisions sometimes. Sometimes I question it. I do question it at times. I don't think
we question if we watched every game, we could go through and pick out a game where a manager made a mistake. I mean, we could. And you've said this too, and I've come to agree with you over this, is look at his record. You know what I'm saying? He got that record with some horrible Yankee teams. I mean, he played smoke and mirrors with some horrible Yankee teams. So I got to give the dude credit.
I mean, because if he was as bad of a manager as folks make him out to be, your dogs are going off. Hey, dogs are going off. But no, there he is. But now, if he was as bad of a manager as people made him out to be, I mean, since he took over, this should be a fourth or fifth place team since 2018.
Harley, quit. Hey, I'm fine. Okay, go upstairs. Go lay down.
I'm gonna mute him for just a minute. Hold on, bro.
Go lay down.
All right. We're good? All right, cool. I just had to mute you for a minute. My bad, bro. Like I said, and Jonathan, I see you in the back. I'll get you up here in just a second there, buddy. I'll get Jonathan up here in a minute. But I was just gonna say this again with Boone. It's just I don't always agree with his decisions. All right. There's times where I question it, but we could pinpoint every single decision he made. It's like we could spend a lot of time on this. But again, I think if he was as bad of a manager as people make him out to be, since 2018 when they hired him, this should be a fourth or fifth place team every single year. Should not be even sniffing the playoffs at all. Yep. Period. And whatever team he was dealt with, he made the best of it. His postseason, yeah, it's not great. His postseason resume is not great. I know a lot of folks like to bring up Girardi and how he won the World Series in 2009. Okay, great. That was a great year. 2009 was great, but he didn't do nothing from 10 to 17. What happened? Yeah,
it's the same thing. Didn't Girardi win with Torre's team? I mean,
with Torre's team?
Didn't Girardi win with Torre's team? All he had to do was just manage it because it was pretty much it was a machine. It was a machine that was going to keep on going.
Right.
And so that's how I see that. I mean, I don't know. I think Boone, like I told you, you and I have talked, I mean, I believe in this team. And, as much shit as I talk about him, I believe in this team because I think they're World Series bound. And I'll say it publicly. I don't think there's anybody in the East or in the American League that can hang with them when they want to come play. And when it's time, they come and play. Big G, he's going to find his stroke. They're not going to hit as bad as they are. It's just not hitting is contagious with this team, evidently, because once one starts and the other one finds a groove, once you can get one or two of them hit and the rest of them seem to fall in line.
Yeah, for sure. So hold that thought for a minute. I'm going to bring Jonathan up real quick. You ready to go, dude? He gave me a thumbs up. So what up there, Jonathan?
Jonathan, what's going on, man?
I'm good, doing well. I almost forgot you were on today.
You're good. And surprise, an open panel.
You told me yesterday there would be an open panel.
So you were listening. All right.
Of course, I'm a moderator. I have to listen.
All right. So let me get your thoughts, man. The Yankees ended the record with a record in the month of June with a 13-14 record. So it wasn't exactly a great month. Really, it was the offense that was kind of coughing it up. Let me get your thoughts on the month of June, and then my other question to you is: have you looked at the schedule in July and what series is going to worry you? What series?
Well, the offense has ever since for the last month the offense has been very worrisome. That's why I was wondering, especially with news about the Wells, I'm curious if Rodriguez is going to come up and play catch up.
I don't think so because they said that Wells is not going to. He didn't catch yesterday or today. He's supposed to catch tomorrow.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be in the lineup tomorrow. So I don't think they're going to call anybody up. Now they did call up De La Cruz because Grisham is likely going to go on the IL.
Yeah, De La Cruz is. I don't know very much about him. I know he's an outfielder. That's basically all I know. Let me see. Didn't they get him from the Pirates? Or is that someone else? You know what? I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't call up Peraza. I thought Peraza should have been the one called up because he's been hitting in the minor leagues. I thought Peraza should have been the one called up. There's someone hitting in the minor league. I'm hearing myself in the background. There's someone.
Hold up, It might be. I don't know if is. I think Ronnie's on his phone, so maybe there's like a little bit of a. I can mute his mic for just a moment, but when he's ready to talk, I'll just. Ronnie's on his phone. That's not Jonathan's house. That's just a background for anybody that's wondering.
It's a background, yes.
Yeah.
But where would Peraza play? Peraza plays the outfield. He would take, if Grisham was out for an extended period of time, Peraza would take his place.
Yeah, but I don't know. We don't know how long Grisham is going to be out for, though. That's the thing. Like, he's going to go on the IL, but we don't know how long he's going to be out for. Maybe it was just easier to call up De La Cruz. Maybe it could be just a short stint. So
De La Cruz has never proven he can hit in the major leagues, at least not in the last 2 years.
Neither has Peraza.
Well, Peraza
he's gotten some playing time, but he's not. He's a little bit unproven to me.
Well,
as well, right?
Maybe he's a late bloomer like Judge. Judge didn't come up until he was 25, and then he hit 52 home runs, and the rest is history.
No disrespect, we're not going to compare Peraza to Judge. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not comparing Peraza to Judge in the sense that he's going to hit 52 home runs on this camp. I'm saying he was also a late bloomer. not everybody who comes up at 21 can hit and field right. Sometimes it takes a couple extra years.
Yeah, it does. Well, tell the rest of the fan base that because there seems to be no patience.
Well, the fan base needs to be patient. Not the Yankees. You have to remember one thing that's different than 20 or 30 years ago when George Steinbrenner had.
Well, we're not going back to the George Steinbrenner years. We got to stop. We got to stop.
Just remember how Steinbrenner works more on a budget.
Well, it's a different game now. There's a luxury tax now.
Well,
I hate paying the luxury tax.
Look,
you wouldn't have cared about the luxury tax.
I would.
That's why I'm in favor of a salary floor. I think there should be a salary floor.
We'll see if it ever happens. I don't know, but anyway, that we're going off subject here. But yeah, I don't think I still got your thoughts on the month of June. What were your thoughts on that? And then I want to get your thoughts on the schedule in the month of July. What series worries you? What games worry you?
The month of June was essentially a very heartbreaking month. They lost a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
And the series that was the most concerning to me was against the Reds. They lost 2 games by basically they should have not lost at least one of those games, especially. But there's been a lot of games this month that they tend to lead into the 8th inning and they end up losing. And I think that has a lot to do with losing when they lost Weaver for 2 weeks.
Okay, so month of June, not heartbreaking, not so great. They should have won games that they lost.
What do you want? You want me to give them a grade?
I'm not asking for a grade. I'm just asking what your thoughts. That's all. If I wanted a grade, I'd be like, yo, what's your grade?
Okay. I just think the bullpen could have pulled out better. The bullpen, in certain times, is very concerning, especially when you have a guy like Luke not available.
Mm-hmm.
My mind is blanking sometimes.
You're good. Yeah, you need to sleep more.
Yeah, I probably do. I get text early in the morning from Joe.
Fair enough. I want to get Harley's thoughts too on the Yankees. I think she's angry. That's why she's barking quite a bit.
She's good.
I actually got bit by a German Shepherd once.
That's a fun story to share one day.
It's right here.
Oh, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. But all right. So looking at the month of July, what do we got for July? What do you like? What series? What games are worrying you? Because I don't think, like I was saying, none of these games are going to be easy. But what games or series is worrying you?
I think the last week is going to be worrying, especially against the Phillies and the Rays, and for that matter, the Blue Jays. The last week and a half is going to be worrying. But today, I will have more. I want to see how the Yankees play against the Blue Jays before I really make that decision.
Yeah, because they're gonna play against the Blue Jays twice, and it looks like is Rodney raising his hand?
Yeah.
What you got?
Hey, which Yankee team are you talking about for the month of July? How about that?
Which Yankee team?
Yeah, which Yankee team are you talking about? The current Yankee team or the Yankee team that we saw 6 weeks ago? Which team are we talking?
Well, that to be determined. If the Yankee team of 6 weeks ago was playing the way they are 6 weeks ago, they probably. If the Yankees weren't in this drought, I would expect they would have ended this month with a 5-game lead in the East, minimum.
I agree with you, Jonathan. So I'm thinking, why don't, instead of worrying about the month of July, I think they need to fine tune what's going on, add their parts, and then start building momentum to get in the playoff. Because anything after the All-Star break is just building momentum and trying to put some distance between you and everybody else and staying healthy.
I'm very concerned about Volpe. I'm not sure if he can stay there. Did I come to an open panel to be a clown today? Seems like it.
What?
Am I clowning around today?
No, it's just
nobody's laughing at you. He's just laughing because you mentioned Volpe. That's all.
What did I miss in the first hour?
Oh, yeah, no, man. It's Jonathan. Volpe should be in jail for stealing a position from a major league ball player. Straight up. I mean, it has nothing to do with you. Volpe is impersonating a major league shortstop. But what do we have in the minors as a stopgap for Volpe, Jonathan? Seriously.
The only player that we have in the minors, really, you could put Vivas and Peraza. Really, those are the only players that are available right now.
Are they going to do any better though? That's my question.
Well, this has been a big problem. The infield has been a big problem, I think, ever since Cabrera got hurt. I think that injury has changed something in the Yankees. Because that was the beginning of this down streak.
They were still playing fine in his absence, though.
Yes, but it was the beginning because they kept moving people around. I think he would have been the permanent third baseman.
Probably, and you wouldn't have to have Jazz play. I don't think the infield. I don't think the infield is a problem. I mean, Volpe has his issues, but I think the rest of the infield is fine. Jazz does fine at third base. I prefer him at second, but I think he does fine at third.
I think
he's fine at first, and DJ does fine at second, but you could put Peraza in there too. Defensively, I don't think the infield isn't that bad. It's not. It's better this year than it was last year.
Yes.
I'll make that argument all day.
Yes.
So the month of July, you're worried about the Toronto series. You're both worried about this series and the series after because they got 7 games total, and you're worried about the Philly series and the Rays.
Rays would be the most concerning.
Okay. So you think you're not too worried about the Cubs, the Mariners, the Braves? You're not worried. You're not that concerned, or the Mets for that matter. You're not as concerned about those series.
I'm always concerned about those, but I think the ones that I mentioned are the most concerning.
The ones you mentioned, the ones you're most concerned. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You can't be concerned about every game of the season. That's not a healthy way to be a fan. But
yeah, fans are always ready to jump off a cliff.
He's trying to tell you something, NFE, because you look like you're going to have a heart attack sometimes.
Well, just give me a parachute and a plane, and I'll jump out of it. It wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, I'm sure it wouldn't be, but yeah. What do you got to say, Rodney? Well, let's hear from you, man.
I'm not. Like I said, it depends on what Yankee team we get, and I just think the minute they go back to hitting, they'll be okay. They need to put a game. We've seen a pattern. At least I have, and I know you have, NFE, because we've talked about it, where they'll get 10 or 15 hits in a game, and then turn around the very next game and only get 4 hits and 2 runs. And so it's like, hey, y'all slow down. I catch myself yelling at them, slow down on your hitting, save some for tomorrow. I'd like to see them put together some games where they win You know, they win some 8-7 games. They get some games where they come from behind and actually prove that when they get hit in the mouth, they'll hit back. Because this team hasn't shown me that they can take a punch. And like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until you get hit in the mouth.
Well,
And go ahead, Jonathan.
Call Mike Tyson and give them a good smackdown.
No, you get what I hope you understand what I'm saying. They're all fine and dandy till they get hit in the face and then they fold. You know, and they need to do better than that, in my opinion. They need to fight back, because if they get down, they look like they give up to me, and that's just me.
Yeah, and my argument too with the bats, these guys could hit. They got on base. It's just the runners in scoring position is where they like fall brain dead. And
I'm going to go back.
That happens.
I think this month they went from having a 7-game lead to now it's 1.5.
Yeah, but 1.5, and then you got the Blue Jays trailing by 2.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a tight race right now.
In 1 month, you became from a comfortable lead to a nail-biting lead. But yes, I think eventually Spencer Jones also will be called up.
And I think that'll be more at the when they expand the roster.
I think it will be either in August or September, depending on their need for outfield.
They're fine in the outfield. They got guys in the outfield. They need what they need. Honestly, they need a third baseman. In my opinion, they need a third baseman, a righty bat, mind you, and then they need a couple of bullpen arms.
But here's the question: who are you going to trade? Who are you going to trade for? Who fills the righty third baseman?
I want Eugenio Suarez.
By Volpe.
Trade.
Wells.
What?
He's saying by Volpe, by Wells.
By Wells.
Yeah, Volpe and Wells. I honestly think Volpe has another year. After next year, I think the Yankees will have Lombard ready.
For 20, you think for 26 he'll get called up
after next year or sometime during the season.
26.
And either at the end of 26 or in 27, Lombard will be ready.
I mean, I don't know if he'll be up for 26. You might have to wait another season unless he really he's been killing it down there in the minors. But it's gonna be a while. But as far as the deadline, though, if we're talking about right now, because again, I'm not trying to look at too far ahead, but I think Eugenio Suarez really is going to fit that bill. But there's going to be a lot of teams acquiring for him.
Who would you want? Who would you trade in that package?
I mean, he's purely a rental. Who do I want to trade? I mean, you know they're gonna. I got to look at this. I got to look at this list of prospects, because they're gonna. Arizona's gonna want somebody back. They'll probably want to ask for pitching.
Is Rice untouchable?
No.
I wouldn't want to trade Rice because of the fact that he has versatility. He could play catcher. He could play first base. He could DH. I mean, Rice could call a game. I mean, we have seen that. There's no way. There's no way you're not giving up Spencer Jones and George Lombard Jr. That's a hell no.
No.
Yeah. I mean, they have like a couple of pitchers. They got I don't know how they have Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, who's ranked 6th. I know the Yankees had traded for him.
Block Salvage.
They got Salvage. They got Lalane. I mean, you could see one of those two guys maybe included in the package. Maybe an Everson Pereira.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Everson Pereira gets traded.
Yeah, Pereira could be a guy that could be.
I think he's expendable.
He is expendable. He is, because they got Spencer Jones. Whoa, what is that? I don't know if that I had to mute. I think that was coming from you. Yeah, there was a lot of noise coming from your phone there, Rodney. I don't know what it is.
Phone?
Yeah, because I muted it and it went away. I think we're good now. So we're good.
All right, good.
Yeah, Susan's saying, you know what happens to rentals. We were Soto'd. Let's not make the same mistake. Well, I don't think they're going to give up as big of a package for like a guy like Suarez if the Yankees were looking into it. But Suarez is a lot of teams are probably going to be looking into him, and the market right now is going to be very limited. There's a lot of teams that are still continuing, but I'll ask you, who do you want? Who's out? Who do you think is out there?
It's very hard. Trading nowadays is much harder because of the expanded roster. Who I want compared to who we can get is very different.
Okay, who do you want?
I want if I could make a trade with anybody, I would trade with the Rockies.
Okay.
I don't know his name. Let me go back to seeing his name. I don't think it's McMahon, but who's the other infielder that they have? I always forget his name.
What position?
Third base.
Ryan McMahon.
That's Ryan McMahon.
They have another player
that plays third base.
Yeah. I think is it Kyle Farmer? I think that's his name.
Yeah, I think that's who he's talking about. I can look it up real quick if you want me to, but I think it is Farmer.
Yeah, Farmer is a guy who I wouldn't mind trading for.
So he plays second base, which would mean he could take over second base, and that would keep Jazz at third. Would you be cool with that?
I would. I don't know his defense very well, but I would be cool with that.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
No.
Okay, so Ronnie disagrees.
I want Jazz to move back to second, and I want find somebody competent enough to play third, and we'll figure it out at the end of the year. I mean, because we need a right-handed bat, and we need a competent third baseman.
And who's a competent third baseman? You think McMahon should be traded?
They don't need another lefty bat. I like McMahon defensively, but they don't need another lefty bat.
Yeah, that's
too many lefties.
That's my one thing against McMahon is he's a lefty, and two, I want somebody. I mean, we don't need a heavy contract. We'd have to take McMahon for a couple of years, I think. I'm not sure on that, but I think we get McMahon for more than a couple of years. I really don't want to do that.
What about a guy like Estrada?
Tyro Estrada?
Yeah, he's a former Yankee.
He is a former Yankee, but again, he's a second baseman, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
He's a second baseman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see, like you said, Jonathan, it's going to be tight on bats. You're going to have, if you want a bat, you're going to have to overpay. And that's my belief watching it play out for as long as I have. You're going to have to overpay. And I don't think the Yankees want to be in the overpayment market considering they got fleeced. They ain't fleeced. They paid out what they needed to pay out to get what they got. I was thinking Nolan Arenado but at the same time, I'm thinking no with that because, I mean, he hasn't really done anything to make me think that he would be better on our team or make our team any better. I mean, defensively. Go ahead.
The only thing I'll say about the Arenado thing is the Cardinals better eat most of that contract.
And that's the exact thought. You figure we waited, we pulled out in spring and said we'll wait till the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a need, but the whole thing is the Cardinals know we need a third baseman. It's not like it's a big secret.
Right.
But I would just tell them you eat three-quarters of this and we'll take it.
Yeah, because his contract is pretty costly. I like Arenado. I like his defense at third. I'm looking at his numbers right now with his bat. He's batting .247 this season, on base percentage of .306. He's got an OPS of .701. I mean, that's going to be a better production at third base, and then you can move Jazz back to second. I mean, but it only, and he's got to waive his no trade clause. That's the other thing, because he has a no trade clause. And
but his buddy is the first baseman.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I'm saying? His partners are first baseman.
Yeah. And then real quick, hold that thought, because I got our boy Stephen B in the back. I'm gonna bring him up real quick. So you ready to go, dude?
Here's one other option I have, and it might be very unpopular. But what do you think trading for a guy like Beatty from the Mets?
Beatty?
Hell no.
Well, see, that's the expression I wanted with that.
I deal with honesty, at least from my point of view, and that's an honest thing.
Well,
Cheesecake, what's up, my guy?
He said,
and I come here. I come here for the comedy.
No, you're good, bro. But yeah, let me get. I want to talk. Let me get Stephen B's thoughts here, man. We're talking about a bunch of different things here, Stephen B. I know you're working. I don't know what your time is, but I wanted to get your thoughts on the month of June. They went 13-14, and looking at the schedule ahead, I don't know if you got a chance to look at the schedule for July. If not, I can tell you what the games are going to be. They're going to play 25 games. Let me get your thoughts on the month of June, and then tell me your thoughts on the month of July. Like, what series or games are you worried about the most, and how do you feel about the month of July and June?
June to me was a disappointment for us. We had so many opportunities to win, and we blew so many games. Same kind of thing. Bad error, 1 innings. And it's very disappointing. And as far as July, well, it's a tough month, but I want to see us actually go and prove June was a fluke. I'm looking forward toward the Mets series. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Okay, so you're looking forward to that series in July. All right. So what series in July? Because they have a tough series ahead. There's not really a lot of easy. There's not easy series, but what series worries you?
I don't even have any worries with the series personally. It's just, if our offense can show up, our pitching will keep us in the game. We can win those things. I'm not worried about who we're playing. I just want to see the offense show up consistently.
Great mind, Steve.
Because this year the pitching's been there. It's just the pitching's been there. It's just the offense can't keep us in the game.
For sure, no doubt. Trade deadline, and real quick, guys, I could tell you right now, I don't know that the Cardinals might end up being buyers instead of sellers, because right now they're holding they're holding third place in the wild card spot right now. I mean, anything can change, anything could be possible. So they could be playing for the postseason, because they're 47-39 right now. So I'm not counting those boys out just yet.
There's one more name that I looked up.
Sure.
Luis Urias, third baseman on the A's.
I'm done trading with the A's.
Yes.
You should never go near the Mariners ever again.
I know.
I'll say this for the A's.
I don't want it, but
what was that, Stephen B?
I'll say this. I don't want any A's pitcher. Position players, fine. Relievers, closers, starters, stay away. We haven't had any, and no one's been that good since Tim Hudson or Catfish Hunter way back in the day.
Don't forget Mark Mulder.
The last A's pitcher ever to help us was Catfish Hunter.
He got
okay. Sonny Gray.
Let's see. Mark Mulder got injured after the second year.
But he was good though. I mean,
the big three. the big three were good, but Tim Hudson was the only one that could stay healthy. Mark Mulder got hurt. Zito left in free agent. Never the same pitcher. I just
True.
don't want anything to do with their pitching, especially Mason Williams. No.
Yeah, no, I'm pacing on. I'm passing on Mason. Nope. But
Cheesecake act like he'd riot if they got an A's pitcher. He looked like he'd go to the stadium with a sign and stand outside and picket the stadium.
Montas.
Yeah,
I'm on toss.
not everybody can pit. Not everybody can play in New York, guys. You guys know this.
Yeah.
You guys know it's a different animal than pitching for the A's, where you're playing in a stadium that ain't got nobody there, and then you step into Yankee Stadium. Remember what Jazz said about becoming a Yankee? He left the Marlins and he walked into Yankee Stadium that first night, and that stadium was packed, and how he felt. You know, it's a different animal playing for you guys, because New Yorkers are brutally honest. You know, and so a lot of guys think, oh, I want to go to Yankee. I've been dreaming of being a Yankee, but not everybody can be a Yankee. I mean, it takes a certain person that can handle what comes from being a Yankee. Look at us now. We've been on 2 hours, and what are we talking about? We're talking about the Yankees. You know, so it's not easy being them.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're man enough. They get paid to play a boys' game. You know, so they need to man up, put their big boy jocks on, and go out there and put bat on ball, play baseball the way it's meant to be played, station to station, situational hitting. I'm tired of everybody on the team thinking that they're fucking Aaron Judge. You're not. You know, there's 2 guys that we count on the long ball. Everybody else, yeah, maybe, but just put the ball in play.
Yeah, that's
put the ball in play, station to station. Yeah, go ahead, Kim.
That's the mistake that the Yankees make. The Yankees should think of it this way. When it comes to home runs, think that Judge, Stanton, maybe Paul Goldschmidt. But everybody else should not try to hit home runs. They should try to get on base and wait for the next guy to hit them in to score a run. That should be the goal of the Yankees. You're muted.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I got you. I had to mute you because there was like a lot of like static or noise coming from your phone, bro. But you're good now. Go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of guys just need to realize I'm not him, but I'm me, and this is what I bring to the team. You know, I mean, they're getting up there, and like Volpe, I honestly think Volpe, and I mean this from bottom of my heart, and I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I think Volpe will be okay if they sit him down and let him see how the game is played, you know, and watch somebody that's better than him so he can understand this is what I'm supposed to do. Because I honestly don't think he was shown by a veteran. You know, I can tell by how he quarterbacks the infield. He is the quarterback of that infield, and he made a lot of mistakes last year, and he's still making some this year. You know, I'm a thought maybe if we set Volpe down or send him down in the minors, and I'm not trying to do it as punishment. I'm trying to do this to help him because he is a Yankee, and so he does matter.
So
you know,
another problem with his swing is it's a little bit too much of an uppercut.
I want to ask a question real quick. So, I know we talked about the Yankees bats. I know we're talking about Volpe. Is this a player thing? Is this a hitting coach thing? Is it a Boone thing? Is it a mix of the 3? What do you guys think?
It could be a mix of the 3. I think it's a combination of pressure on Volpe that it's unnecessary. And it's, I don't know. Maybe this is the thing. Why do players play better a lot of times after they leave the Yankees? Torres, for example, because the Yankees have a sense to them that sometimes players put too much pressure. It's the mental game.
Well, Torres. Well, I'm just gonna say this. Torres to me. Well, again, I'm not gonna even go down this rabbit hole, but again, so do you think this is a player problem, or is it?
I think it's both a player problem and maybe he's just showing us who he is. Because every time he was in the trade talk, he would not. They were not. They said no. The Yankees had opportunity to sign great shortstops. They passed them all on Volpe. They passed on Seager. They passed on many others.
Well,
Seager would have been a good choice for the Yankees.
He would have been a good choice, but he gets hurt often too now. It seems like he gets hurt often. He does miss some games. I like Corey Seager, but if he was on the Yankees, forget about it. We would never hear the end of it from the fans. But Rodney, there's a lot of. What do you think though with the Yankees hitting? You're good. Yeah, he's scolding that dog right now. But I don't know. With the offense, I think James Rowson is doing a good job. I think he's a hell of a lot better than Dylan Lawson. I didn't like Dylan Lawson's philosophy. I think his thing was just hit the ball and hit the ball hard. I don't think that was exactly a popular opinion. And what's up?
The one thing about this hitting coach is he's Jazz's old hitting coach.
True.
So he's the one that worked with Jazz that got Jazz's swing back. I do know that much. And I also know that you can't really put this on the hitting coach because nobody said shit about the hitting coach when they were hitting. You see what I'm saying? When they were hitting bombs and when they went up and massacred Milwaukee and they did those other things, nobody said anything about the hitting coach. So
that's why I asked the
question. He falls in the same seat as Boone is. I give you the tools to work with. What you do with them is on you. You know, like those guys know the strike zone. They know the strike zone. You know, and after your first time around, you should know the umpire. We can't always blame the umpire because these fools swing at shit that it's just like you wouldn't swing at in a drunken softball league. You know, I mean, they swing at pitches out. They have no plate discipline. So they need to get, and if that's on the hitting coach, then so be it. But that's on all of them. That's the hitting coach, the manager, them themselves, because we can't constantly let the players off the hook. Well, it's the manager. No, it's not. Execute what he told you to do. Because, see, this is the thing with them. They
continue talking. I'll be right back. Continue talking.
Yeah. Players play and coaches coach. You know, you can't, I mean, I don't know. I'm just old school, and that's just the way that I am. I mean, I don't want to hear from a player. You know, I mean, you do what I tell you to do. I'll fall on this sword for you if I think you're worthy. But like I said about Volpe, I think we need to ease up on Volpe, you know, because can you imagine being a shortstop for the New York Yankees and how much pressure that is and how he's feeling? He's trying to make the plays to prove that he's worthy. And I think maybe he's got inside his head. You got to remember his age too.
Another thing. When you're a professional athlete, you're expected to be a professional, and you have to just make the routine plays. Volpe now has more errors than any other shortstop in the major leagues after 2 months.
Yeah, I get that. This is just it. We talked about what's the alternative. So if the alternative is anything but, we don't have anything but Volpe, then we might as well
Well, the alternative is injured for the year.
Yeah, that's true, but there's nothing we can do about that either. I mean, we can go back and forth. What if, if Auntie had nuts, she'd be uncle, and you know that. Oops, I'm sorry, I forgot where I was.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that reference.
Yeah, so it's we just got to get on. We just got to accept what we got. Hope that Cashman can come up with something. I think Steinbrenner liked the taste of the World Series, so he's going to be willing to do what he can take to go back, because I said this earlier this year. That was Stein Jr.'s first World Series of his own. And I think he liked the taste of it. I think he liked the taste of it, and I think he's willing to go back because he wants that ring. Come on, man. He's got the Steinbrenner ego. He wants that ring.
One
Go
player
ahead.
that I think that could help them, and it's going to be very difficult for them to get, could be Kyle Tucker.
Do you think? Hold on. So, do you think the Yankees? I'm not saying that they'll definitely do their due diligence and check in on Tucker. They check in on whatever players could be available. There's no doubt about that. But do we think that Steinbrenner? Not that he's not able to. He's definitely more than capable of going over $500 million. I mean, he was willing to pay Soto, but do you think they will sign Tucker? Because then
No.
Okay.
I think they see Jones as a similar player to Tucker, and if Jones can come up and show he can hit with then you're getting the same. You're getting a similar production player to Tucker for a minimum salary. I think that is what the Yankees are hoping for.
Yeah, because listen, if the Yankees, I'll say this real quick. If the Yankees do sign Tucker, I wouldn't complain, but and Hal has every capability to sign him. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think so.
Right.
I really don't think so.
I have a feeling
So hold on. Especially with Hal wanting to cut payroll, because he's been talking about that for a few years now, because he's tired of paying the luxury tax. He wants to, but yeah, I don't see him spending that money on Tucker. I don't.
I think it's more likely they go after Murakami over Tucker.
They're not going to go. I don't think Murakami is
probably not.
Probably no. No, we could forget about Murakami. I don't think that guy's coming to the Yankees. Nah, those Japanese players are staying on the West Coast. That's all there is to it. Hold on. What were you saying?
You know where he going? He going straight to L.A. Okay.
Yeah.
They got that jersey already printed up for him. They got that money. They got that deferred hedge fund money. Yeah.
Guggenheim.
The thing that I think is funny is the guys that get paid during the lockout. That's what's going to make the fans angrier at the players than the owners. I mean, the owners are going to get blamed for this lockout, but the players that still get their full salary, that's going to blow a lot of people's mind, and you know it. It's going to set off these overspoiled, blah, 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 blah. Because what neither side understands is us fans look at it as the billionaires versus the millionaires. And we don't understand any of that because we're the ones that pay.
Yeah, well, guess what? Yeah. Once this next lockout happens, fans are still going to go to the games. It's not going to change anything. Not to go off subject, but yeah.
You're right. It's not going to change a damn thing. It's not. I mean, we'll still pack. We'll still be on here talking about the team. We'll be talking about I'm glad we're back and blah, blah, blah. Let's move on to baseball because that's the stand. I've been sat through so many of these lockouts, man. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
It's not.
Hasn't there only been 2 MLB lockouts?
I had the one in the 70s.
You did 70s also? I know
I had-
81 and 94.
I'm 61 years old. Okay, so I did the one in the 70s. I had the one. I think there was 1.5 in the 80s or something
Yeah,
like that.
81.
I think I've been through 4 of them. I think I've been through 4 of them, and they're disgusting. I mean, the owners pull bullshit, the players pull bullshit. Like the Yankees in Montreal were going to have the World Series of all World Series. I mean, it was lined up. Gary Carter, all of them, Montreal Expos, the New York Yankees. It was about to be the best World Series of all time. Oh, nah, they closed the gates.
Yeah, I don't know why they locked the gates in the middle of the season. They should have just waited until October after the World Series.
They would have. And the whole thing was, had they waited, none of it would have went on. I mean, seriously, had they waited, none of it would have went on. You're right about this. The floor. They need a floor. They need a floor cap.
They need a floor.
Because one thing that's disgusting is the teams that we got to pay luxury tax money that goes to them, but the teams that they give the money to don't spend the money on baseball.
That's the big problem about all this spending. If there is not a rule that's saying if you receive luxury tax, you have to spend that money on your team or forfeit it back to the team that paid you. If that is not a rule in the next CBA, then all of this talk is just for show.
The only thing I will tell you guys is do not expect a salary cap because
I never expected a cap. I never expected a cap.
Okay, we know we're not getting a cap, but Jonathan's right about the floor thing. I mean, because you think about it, it's so unfair because I think there's only like 5 teams in Major League Baseball that make money. And then the rest of them don't because the owners use them as a tax write-off. That's what blows my mind, is that they use them for a tax write-off. How? That's insane. I mean, literally, that's insane. And I mean, and to hear AJ Przinsky and those guys talk about it, it's a joke to some of those players about that. I mean, and it's a sore spot because it's like, of course they just write it off at the end of the year and write it off as a tax write-off because they make that much money in other businesses. So I mean, it's a messed up system. It's like everything else. It's a messed up system. I mean, you got guys, I said this to NFE yesterday, you got guys that don't play Major League Baseball today that are still good enough to play, but they've been squeezed out because of money. So, and this work stoppage is going to be long because the owners are going to try to institute a cap.
So, one thing is that, we talked about teams not spending money. Yeah, there should be a salary floor. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But the Marlins, they did get hit with a I don't know if you guys
that the Marlins got hit with a grievance for not doing it. The Mariners should be hit too because the Mariners don't spend that much. They don't spend any money.
Yeah, because I think the Marlins payroll was like under 105 million. So
yeah, it was way under where it was supposed to be.
Yeah, so they were down.
So hypothetical, if you were to make the rules, what would you set a salary floor at?
I mean,
They're gonna tell us we're gonna have to look at the books to make that decision. That's what they're gonna play on us the minute they bring that up is, well, we're gonna have to open the books. Anytime they talk about opening the books, that's just a finger fucking going on that everybody sees coming. Well, we have to open the books. You know how many times in my lifetime I heard a corporation say we're going to have to open the books to determine that? They knew when they went to the table what they could do. This is going to be, like I said, this is going to be long and it's not going to be pretty. But we're all going to be suckers and go back to America's pastime the minute they open the gates again.
it's going to happen. Yeah, we could. I mean, us fans, we could complain all we want, but we're not going to change our mindset, because as a fan base, we're going to continue spending money on these tickets. We're going to continue watching the games. We're going to continue spending money on the merchandise. And then,
but I give baseball credit about one thing. They've tried to keep it sensible on the ticket pricing, because the other sports, there's no way in hell. You understand that? I mean, I could go, and this is how it worked out. One year I went to 12 baseball games and paid, I think it was $650 for all 12. I went to one football game for 2 tickets, the night in the hotel, food and everything else. It cost me right around $1,300. That was for a football game. So, I got to give baseball credit. I spent less going to 12 games than I did going to an NFL game for one.
Baseball might be able to do that also because they have more games.
What do you think about in the collective bargaining agreement? Because they brought up that the players don't want to play on Monday. They're willing, if the league drops 10 games, it either drop it earlier in the season or at the end of the season, they're willing to let them have two more wild card teams in each league, so the owners don't lose money.
I'm not sure how that would work. I mean, look, if they drop the season, I could see them go back to 154, where it was before 1961, and an expanded playoff. But I don't know. I don't know.
They're playing into Thanksgiving now.
Well,
my birthday's November 18th. They're damn near playing up until my birthday. And I remember when Major League Baseball was over by Halloween.
Well, maybe they should have a shorter spring training or have an earlier spring training.
This shit's year round now, man. I mean, I think it's
around.
It's year round now. So I'm of thought they could run this.
Major League Baseball is trying to follow the NFL model in a way where, the NFL model, like now there's like more of these wild card playoff games, and they're trying to give more opportunities. So I think the Major League Baseball is trying to follow that same.
Yeah, I don't know. They should follow the NHL. They just came up this morning. I watched. They got their bargaining agreement done. The NHL got their bargaining agreement done. There'll be no work stoppage for them for years, because Bettman said, and this is what Bettman said. He said the rest of them run into the problem that they don't realize that they're in a partnership together. And that's what Gary Bettman said. He said that the Players Association and the unions for the other leagues don't realize that they're in it together. They're in it for them to take, they're in it to get what they can get for each side. The NFL, the commissioner works for the owners. He's basically he's the owner's mouthpiece. I could never understand how that works, because he's not his own man.
Mm-mm.
Bettman. The NFL commissioner is not his own dude. He's run by 32 men. He's a puppet for them.
Yeah, well,
baseball's in trouble. I want to enjoy the Yankees. I think they'll get 28 this year. I think it's going to be hard. I think nothing that's worth anything is ever easy, and that's just from a 60-year-old man who's been through some shit. So anything that's worth it is never easy. So just sit back, relax. They just need the bats to wake up. That's the only thing that's holding them back right now, is the bats that gone in a slumber. Give the bat a little blue pill and soak them in some blue pill juice and let them fly.
No doubt. But we're 2 hours into the live stream. I'm going to ask one final question, because I'm going to close it out, because I'm going to get ready for the play-by-play. So month of July.
Hey, I got a question. Can I have a question first?
Go ahead.
When do I get my check?
What check?
The check for 2 hours of being online with you, and I don't do shit for 2 hours for free.
Never. No, I'm just playing.
What's the question, man?
No,
Oh
no,
my
my
God.
final question. So 25 games in the month of July. If you had to pick a record, what's your record for the month of July? So they went 13-14. What do you got? What do you got for July?
25. I'll go 15-10.
Ha! My man, I had that same record.
I'll go 15. I'll go 15-10.
I'm going 15-10 as well. What about you,
I'm going
Jonathan?
15-10.
I go 16-9 just to be different.
Just to be different. Okay. So you were thinking 15-10.
I was thinking around I actually was thinking 16-9.
You were.
Yes, I was.
Okay. Yeah, I have to.
It's around.
What was that?
I was thinking around the neighborhood. It's similar to what you're saying with one more win.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going 15.
Yeah, I'm going 15-10. And I think that, we should be worrying how many series are they going to win this month? How many series do they got? Because that's how I look at it. I don't look at games. I look at series.
Well, series.
Well,
I could
How
tell
many
you.
series? How many series we got this month?
I could tell you right now. Hold on.
Nah, legs. I needed this, like you said. So I appreciate it.
So they got this series against Toronto. So let's count that as one. They got the Mets, Mariners, Cubs, Braves, Blue Jays again, and then
they need to go 5-3 in series this month.
I would appreciate that.
We go 5-3, 4-4. Yeah, I take 4-4. I would. With everything we've been through, I take 4-4 in series, and then start trying to build some momentum going into August. Because everything's about building momentum and staying healthy.
Well, I think before we talk about August, I would like to see what happened at the trade deadline.
Yeah, we'll talk about all that at a different time. But yeah, we're over 2 hours though, so I think
my union rep's calling, so she's gonna be real mad at me because Hey man, I had the best time, man. And legs, you were right. I really did need this. All right, guys. Much love.
I'm glad you came on, dude. I'm glad.
Yeah,
you came on. Hopefully, I see you on for more.
Oh, you will. Much love, honor, respect, guys. I'm out.
All right, man. Take it easy. All right, he's gone. Nah, Jonathan, I do appreciate you coming on for rocking out for a couple of hours. So, I'm
always around if I can.
For sure, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I knew today was going to be a long one because today was like I wanted to do the monthly recap and everything all into one because it was like the perfect day to do it. I wasn't going to have any other time to do the monthly recap. So today I just wanted to do that. So, but I've been live for almost 2 hours, but I'm going to go ahead and drop you down, Jonathan. But thank you for coming on. But we'll do this again next time. So thank you so much.
Next time will be after the trade deadline.
Yeah, it'll be in August. We'll see if I do any other open panels in between, but always be on the lookout. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll be on the lookout.
All right.
If I can join, I'll join.
Sounds like a plan. But thank you again. I'll go ahead and drop you down. So have a good one there, Jonathan. Thank you. Thank you to everybody else who hung out for 2 hours. Been live for 2 hours and 5 minutes. I'm going to go live for the pregame here in about 15. I hope to see all of you there. Let's hope for a Yankees win. Hopefully they can bounce back from yesterday's crappy loss. But let's see what happens here, people. But once again, thank you all for tuning in. I do greatly appreciate it. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe. All right. If you're new to the channel, thank you to all the new subscribers. Share this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you all shortly. And as always, let's go Yankees.